privilege of the corporate legal team to be a partner in this growth story of IHCL. But you know what? In the corporate world, in the business world, लोग मिलते नहीं हैं, उनको मिलाना पड़ता है, जुड़ते नहीं हैं, जोड़ना पड़ता है, और उस पर बहुत एफर्ट जाता है, बहुत कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स नेगोशिएट करने पड़ते हैं, बहुत डिलीजेंस एनालाइज करनी पड़ती है, बहुत रिस्क मिटिगेशन करना पड़ता है, and that is how we've been partnering and fueling this amazing growth story in IHCL. But growth is not just organic growth, signing management contracts. In fact, I'll narrate the multi-pronged growth story that IHCL has been seeing. So I cited Najrul Sultanpuri. Let me now talk about Firak Puranpuri. And what did he say? He said, Sarzameen Hind par, Sarzameen Hind par, Aqla pe alam ki Firak. Aqwam alam means people of the world. कारवां गुजरता गया और हिंदुस्तान बनता गया. लोग जुड़ते हैं तो कारवां बनते हैं, लोग जुड़ते हैं तो काफिले बनते हैं, और जब काफिले बसते हैं तो मुल्क बनता है. Look at this next phenomenal growth story, and even more phenomenal growth story of IHCL, with several acquisitions having happened. So let me walk you through this. Clarks and Bridge, the ones that you would have seen in the media recently. Between them, 150 plus hotels that we've been acquiring. Arpantan, which is IHCL's first foray into the integrated wellness segment. Tree of Life, which is all about experiential luxury. And you saw 74 here. This is 171 hotels acquired. That's how the graph moves up. And of course, who can forget Taj Bandstand, which is going to be easily the most iconic hotel which this part of the world has seen, and one of the most iconic in this entire world. Like I said, growth at IHCL has not been unidimensional, it has been multidimensional. There have been several engines of growth, and we have grown even through the brandscape. So for example, Paper Moon, the new Italian cuisine concept that we introduced, we became the exclusive licensees for the Paper Moon, one already operating in Goa, another one coming up very soon. Claridge's, we acquired the rights to be the exclusive licensees of the brand in India, an iconic hotel in the city of New Delhi, in Lutyens, Delhi, which we are currently operating, and we aim to grow the brand. Gateway, which we have relaunched in the recent past. The whole wellness segment of IHCL was relaunched with J Wellness Circle, and Chambers, the much coveted club at IHCL hotels, relaunched, and relaunched how? With the one at Mansingh in Delhi, and of course recently we have opened the one at TMPT Kolaba. Those of you who have not seen it, you should see it. Amazing relaunch of this Chambers proposition which has happened, and all of that fueling the IHCL growth story. Growth through new businesses, and this was interesting. COVID was a time when the hospitality industry was struggling, and that was a time that saw us coming out with new business propositions which have outlasted the COVID times and have gone on to become great business propositions in themselves. Ama Stays and Trails, the homestay business of IHCL, and we today have a network of Amas across the country. And of course, Qmin, which started off as if the people cannot come to the Taj during the pandemic period, Taj or IHCL will go to the people and supply food at their homes so that they don't miss the Taj food. And from there it has now taken on a very different role. There have been growth in the landscape there itself, with the queuing trucks, with airport counters, and whatnot. And in fact, the greatest story there, which is unfolding, is also about establishing human restaurants at the ginger hotels across the country. Growth through asset management, a concept under which this team has unlocked a value of more than 400 crores for the organization. Those of you who have seen Ginger Mumbai Airport and who have seen that property earlier would know that it used to be a Bhoot Bangla. So basically an asset which was getting wasted. From there has emerged a 300-room Ginger Hotel, which has redefined the brandscape of Ginger, the proposition of hospitality in that segment. And I haven't heard of a day ever since it opened where the occupancy may have gone down below 90%. And the rates are absolutely mind-boggling, and it's just repositioned Ginger as a hospitality brand proposition. Rental savings of 3.67 billion, we renegotiated the lease for our Maldives property, bringing in a rental savings for the organization of 3.67 billion. Ginger sale and manage back of 4 properties, where again we unlocked value and then got back the property to operate them as Ginger hotels. We sold more than 100 residential apartments, so basically sale off of the non-core assets, and of course certain land parcels in Gurgaon, Pune, where we had a property which was not being used. All of it got monetized with the efforts of this team, raking in about 400 crores for the organization. How did we achieve this? And therein lies the story. So we tried to bucket them under certain heads, and we believe this is how this team has gone about and how it has enabled this partnership for the phenomenal growth at IHCL. The first one that you notice there is having a seat at the table. Of course, it is about being strategic, about being recognized, about highlighting risks, finding ways, advising the top management, etc., etc. But most importantly, it is about owning the decisions that the organization makes. Having a seat at that table comes with that responsibility, that while you may discuss and debate and talk about various issues at the level of the ExCom or the board, at the end of the day, as the leader of the function, you are as much a part of that decision-making process, and you own the final decision. And that, I believe, results in a situation where the team gets the correct orientation and is as much owning the decision as any other team in the organization. It is no longer that we have been told to do that, but it is also that we own those decisions, and therefore when we go about doing what we have to do, we are doing what we have sought to do. And of course, going with that is that the team is completely aligned with the organization objectives. So very, very clear focus. I think the way in which the organization is moving, if it is about growth, if it is about putting in guardrails, if it is certain focus, this team completely aligns itself with the organizational objectives, and that results in the magic getting created. It is not theoretical, it is absolutely practical business agenda. So as I keep saying, manager law or legal manager has law and manager, and you balance the two roles. I think as people who are focused on organizational objectives and aligned, we balance those roles in a very healthy manner to achieve organizational objectives. The third aspect which allows us to do this partnership, and I believe that from the bottom of my heart, is effective delegation. I think effective delegation for leaders is absolutely essential, because at the end of the day, you cannot cross all the T's and dot the I's. You need your teams to do that. We need our teams to do that. And Therefore, there has to be an effective delegation, delegation that enables the team to deliver the results. And effective delegation also means that you empower the team. It is not like you get into the nitty-gritty of everything. You empower the team. You delegate, but you empower the team so that the team has ownership of each of their respective objectives, right? They own that work profile, they own the results, and they are responsible for those results. That enables in different things happening at the same point of time. And as leaders, it would then become, you become more effective because then you are able to handle multiple things at the same point of time. Siddharth spoke about this, and I'm very glad that he spoke about it, because he and I never spoke about the business partnering approach. And Siddharth's slide had business partnering approach there. And I believe that the legal department at IHCL has been following this business partnering approach, where we have people who are sharply focused on the businesses that they are serving, on the businesses that they work with, and each of them respectively owns that space. So if somebody is working on, let's say, business development deals, he or she is sharply focused on that and engages with that team very, very closely, so that you are then the designated business partner for that team. And that is how we've had specific responsibilities, roles, and profiles which have come up, and I believe that that's played a great role in the way we've been able to deliver what we've been able to deliver. Talking of unlocking potential and continuous upskilling, that is a sine qua non, I believe. Today's world, and increasingly in the world, people will have to adapt. You have to unlearn what you learned and then relearn and then reposition yourself. So continuous upskilling is something which is extremely important, and a lot of effort has gone into that. I know that Siddharth and team have co-created this, for example, the MDP program with the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and IHCL, ever since this program got created, has been sending its managers every single year to that program to attend that and to continue to learn and upskill themselves. We focused on unlocking potential, and it's very important that the legal resource, or for that matter any resource working in any team, the potential gets unlocked and the right people do the right job. So it's important to locate the potential in the right person and then navigate that and then make that person focus in the right direction for the magic to happen. A few more. Let me tell you something that we were discussing a few days back. Even though you saw those many projects and you saw that line moving skywards in terms of the number of projects that we have been handling, the numbers of this team have not gone up in that same skyward moving chart. We remain the same. Our numbers remain constant. So we are around 14, 15 people, and that has been the number over the last few years, even when we were signing 4 contracts or 11, and even when we signed 74 last year, and we've already signed 50 around this year. So our numbers remain the same, but of course, chehre badalte hain. Today we are a healthy mix of old-timers, people who have been there in the system and who have a wealth of experience over the years. And we have new blood, we have external hires, people who have come from the outside, so that you have an outsourcing approach as well, so that you have people who come with varied experiences in varied organizations, people who have different sets of knowledge. And this healthy combination, I believe, is able to deliver the magic that we see being delivered today. Agility is something which we continuously strive towards to enable to deliver on tight deadlines. Deadlines are tight in IHCL, and we work hard to ensure that we deliver on those deadlines. Ring fencing growth, growth is great, growth is very good, but it's also important to ring fence growth because while you keep adding to the numbers, if you are not ring fencing growth or adequately ring fencing growth, numbers will fall off, hotels will fall off that list. And we believe that in one way in which we should do that, and we have been doing that, is to have an effective compliance management system within the IHCL hotels. That is something on which we focus in Project Suraksha, where we have revamped the compliance architecture across our system hotels. We today go with the EY compliance management tool, which is bespoke for each of the hotels, and we've gone about a very scientific manner in which we've changed the entire compliance architecture in our hotels. Let me take up benchmarking global best practices. If you have to deliver well, then you've also got to calibrate well, and you've got to see what others are doing and see what you can do better. And that is something that we have been going about. So for example, when we were doing and implementing Project Suraksha, we went about going to other companies, including Tata companies, and finding out what is the sort of compliance architecture that these organizations have. And then we also looked at our compliance architecture and we said, how can we better this? And that is the matter. And we've gone to good organizations. And Tata Steel, for example, within Tata Group is something which comes to mind immediately. But then Unilever outside the system, Colgate Palmolive outside the system. So we've gone to great organizations and studied what is their practice, how are they doing what they are doing, and then benchmarking ourselves against that. Balancing in-house versus outsourcing, and Siddharth also mentioned about that. It's a fine balance that we achieve between what we do in-house and what we give out. And I'm happy to say that today we do much more in-house than we give outside to the law firms. 10 years back when I had joined this organization and I completed a decade on the 1st of December, there's a lot of work which was going outside, but today there is a healthy mix. A lot of work happens in-house. In fact, all our hotel management contracts that we do, for example, except for the due diligence that we get done outside, everything else happens in-house. So that's the way in which we go about. We do a healthy balancing so that we also do not get bogged down, and yet at the same point of time, it's not that we outsource at the drop of a hat. Of course, let's say something like a litigation, we will not be able to handle in-house. We will have to go to external lawyers. But then again, they're much more engaged with the lawyers, much more ownership for each in-house legal resource in that. So that's how we go about the balancing in-house versus outsourcing. And the last, of course, is we've done standardization of a lot of our agreements. Our most important agreement is the hotel management contract, for example, and we have that as a standardized format, a format which we have benchmarked again against the format of global giants. And that's how we then enable agility, because every single time that you are not getting into drafting of the contract, but you are rather than focused on the negotiations and tweaking of the standard form of the contract to meet the requirements of individual deals. That helps us in being agile and in delivering the results that we have been delivering. Of course, there will be many other things, but we thought that these were some of the learnings which we would be happy to share with the group, happy to engage even later. But in conclusion, I think I have just two more things to say. The first one is that I think a couple of years back at the Chairman Connect, I had heard 4 lines, and I believe those 4 lines adequately represent what we strive for, what we aim to achieve, and those lines are बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश कर, बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश कर, मिल जाए नदी तो समंदर की तलाश कर, बेहतर से बेहतर की तलाश कर मिल जाए नदी, तो समंदर की तलाश कर टूट जाता है शीशा पत्थर की चोट से, टूट जाता है शीशा पत्थर की चोट से, टूट जाए पत्थर ऐसे शीशे की तलाश कर. That is our commitment towards pursuit of excellence. And ladies and gentlemen, the second thing, the team that delivers this magic that you saw, Team IHCL.